Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Droid Life Show, episode 85 today. It's June 19th, Friday. Beautiful Friday. Actually, kind of a cloudy Friday in Portland. I'm your host, Kellen. With me, Tim. Say hi real quick.
Hey guys, how's it going? Tim here.
Yeah, so on deck for today's show, there's not a lot of huge topics right now. We're in one of those kind of lulls in between new phones and new operating systems and stuff. So just got a bunch of little guys that were hot topics throughout the week. Number one, though, Tim and I just want to talk about the situation in general with OTA updates because they're just frustrating. So we'll get to that. But we want to talk about the best Android phone. Well, I think you could buy. We'll let you debate that if you want. I'll talk about OnePlus because they're starting their troll out of features that they did last year. They're starting it now for the OnePlus 2. Nest had a bunch of stuff to talk about. There's this kind of Samsung keyboard thing going around that's driving everyone nuts, I think. Some other stuff. We got some apps. There's actually some new apps that came out this week that have been pretty awesome. This has been one of those weeks where we got more apps, I think, than we normally do, which is always a nice treat. So anyways, I want to talk about this OTA update thing. And so when I talk about over-the-air updates, you guys all know when an update starts pushing to your phone, or now could be your watch too, or your tablet, whoever's pushing it out starts small, and they give it to like 5 people, and those 5 people are the luckiest people on earth, and it's really exciting for them, and everyone else just hammers on the update now button, update now. And we know that actually does nothing, by the way. If you just hammer on the update now button, it doesn't do anything. Like Google said, at least with Nexus devices, that you basically get 1 try per day. And if you're up for that day, you get the update. And so hammering it 8,000 times actually doesn't improve your chances. So you can check once, maybe check once in the morning, once in the afternoon. That's probably about it. But anyway, so that happened. So then you have to wait until it's your turn. Or if you have a Nexus device, you can side load it. Or if you just have a device that happens to allow you to side load, you could maybe do that. For the most part, though, everyone just has to wait until it goes live for everyone. And it sucks, right? Everyone wants the new stuff now. And so we're seeing this. Why we're bringing it up now is because the Moto 360 this week is finally getting its 5.1.1 update. And somehow I magically got it on like day 2. Tim still doesn't have it. It's been 2 days, I think, since I got it. And I thought it would have been rolling out to most of our readers because yesterday, like, our Twitter feed blew up with all these people saying, I got it. And then I got it. And so I just assumed it was rolling out to everyone. I've been writing up a couple things about it, and clearly no one has it. Like, it's a handful of people. Tim doesn't. Dave Cover doesn't have it yet. And so we got to talking. Like, there needs to be a way that you can just opt in. Like, we get why they don't want to just push the update and force it on a bunch of people, because people that maybe don't know what's going on, it could ruin their phone. And look, the slow rollout is so that these companies can detect bugs, right? And so they can detect bugs and shut them down before, and so 500 people might have the bug and they can fix it rather than, 2 million people. But there needs to be a way that you can opt in. So Tim and I, because we know what we're doing, we can say, I agree. If you're going to break my phone, okay, whatever. I'll take my chances. And so I don't know if there's a way they can fix the process other than that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to say I have a bit of breaking news exclusive real quick. Look what just happened to my watch. I don't know if you can see that too well.
No.
But it's downloading the update now.
Oh my God, breaking exclusive.
I can't believe it.
Tim has it.
Yeah, so now I can start you there. It's downloading. Either way, so before this happened, I was a disgruntled smart device owner, just like everyone else, because when they say it's live, go check. They're the ones who get excited. They get you excited. They're like, go check your device. It's rolling out. My main issue is my girlfriend. She has a T-Mobile LG G3, and she actually started using that phone after they had released Lollipop for it, but then pulled it. So we've been waiting for a long time for her G3 to get Lollipop. Finally, it was last week. They said, it's live for everyone. Okay, great. Let's do this. Still has yet to hit the phone.
Still?
And I call just BS on all of that. Once they say it's available for all, and you go into About Software, updates, it needs to be there. And I would be happy to say, okay, if I could sign up to say, yeah, sure, I want to be a beta tester or something like that. Like I'm willing to take the risk, even on someone else's phone, to like have the updates when they're available, or even shortly before. If I can help them test something or anything like that. And I know there's a lot of people in our community that would be willing to do that because they want to be on the verge. They want to have all the new goodies. So clearly I wouldn't say it's a broken process because it does work. Everyone gets their updates eventually. It's just slow and not very exciting for people who just have to sit there and wait, like I've been doing for the past couple of days for 5.1.1. And it's a relief once you get it, but there's got to be a solution or a better way of going about the update.
Yeah, I mean, there's this huge group of us that are all early adopters, and we just like having new. Like, I see a lot of people go, "You guys don't have any patience," and no, we don't, and that's not like a really bad thing. We want this stuff now, and there shouldn't be anything wrong with wanting like the new stuff now. If that guy over there's got it, I should be able to get it. And yeah, it just seems like there should be an opt-in to like accepting the risk or something. Google could create like an email list or something. It's like a beta test basically, right? And you just opt in to say like, I want to be on the first batch. I also think they should do this with apps, right? Because they introduced the staged rollout, our favorite thing ever, the staged rollout a couple years ago. And so when new Google apps get updated, not everyone gets them. It could be like 2 or 3 days before the update might actually hit your phone. And it's crap. And especially for us, right? Because we report on this stuff. So it seems like there should just be a way that people could opt into like a white list that you get everything first and you just accept the fact that it might break your phone. And look, I know even if people are whitelisted, they're still going to complain. If if it breaks something, right, they'll still be the first like a-holes to go complain to Google that they broke their phone, even though they opted in and accepted all responsibility, whatever. But like we still like, this is what we do, right? Like we all love this like technology and the new stuff and testing things and checking things out and talking about it. And then some of us have to wait like a week, days longer. And it's just unfortunate.
Waiting sucks, especially on the 360 when updates are sort of important for it, like it gets running a little janky or something. You're like, wow, I really need that feature that's rolling out to everyone else but me. So, for example, the G3, why it's such a big deal is because we have Android Auto installed in one of the cars and it only works for Lollipop Plus devices. So she has to now be on a Nexus 5 that has Lollipop. She can't even use her own phone because the update just for some reason isn't coming to her phone. So it's frustrating when you actually need an update, not just because you want it, but you need it to use something else that Google released, which is only compatible with the newest version of Android. Like, give me a break. Right. It's like this never ending cycle of lameness.
It really is. Yeah. Well, and like that, so the Moto 360 with this update, it got Wi-Fi connectivity. And the other day, while I was waiting for the update and still hadn't received it yet, like, I left my phone downstairs and walked into another room and had my watch on and like lost connectivity. And now when I do that, it doesn't happen. So but I realized it then. I just went, where is this damn update? Like, my phone is worthless unless I have my, or my watch is worthless unless my phone's right next to me. And so, yeah, there's times when you also need the new features because they make your life better and things like that. But
absolutely,
I'm sure nothing's ever going to change, because Google would have to start maybe with their Nexus phones, and they would have to create like a special database and whitelist like specific people, and how many people do they let in? Do they let in like 100,000 people from XDA that all flood their stuff? You know what I mean? And there's no way to control probably that, and it would just kind of defeats probably the purpose of what they're doing anyway. So yeah,
absolutely. When it comes to like the quality assurance stuff, being just whitelisting people and letting them have the jank builds doesn't really help anybody, especially if there's the albeit slim chance that a software OTA could like brick your device or something. There was a lot of those Nexus 7 owners who were like, Lollipop or this update broke my tablet. No word from Google. Like, it's kind of it could be upsetting. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So
I get why they do all the staged rollout stuff. It just sucks. Like, when you're a tech geek like we are, we don't have patience. And if anyone tells you guys should be patient, that just pisses you off more. I don't want to have patience. Like, I just want this stuff now. I know you guys have it ready. Give it to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Just kind of want to talk about that because we don't talk about OTAs just generally like that very often. So, but look,
it's
we
depressing.
talked about it and you magically got the update.
Absolutely. Halfway there.
Take to Twitter. Everyone, the update is live. You're probably one of like 6 people that got it today. Everyone else will say no.
I'm happy about it.
Yeah. All right, let's see. So yesterday, so I wrote up this post called "The Best Android Phone You Could Buy Today," and I wrote it up because we get asked all the time, "What do you guys recommend? What's the best phone right now? What are you guys using for your phone right now?" And so I kind of just tied all of that into a single post called "The Best Android Phone You Could Buy Today," and basically it was just me saying, well, number one, I think this is the best phone you could buy today for these reasons. Number two, this is probably the best phone because, it's the one that I've settled on and I test them all kind of thing. Not that, what I say goes, but in my opinion, it's just a phone after testing everything that I'm using. So I consider it the best. I think it's the best you can buy. And so then rather than answering all of the dozens of people that ask us regularly, it's just now we can just like go here, read this post. And so everyone can kind of see. So I said the best Android phone you could buy right now, surprise, Galaxy S6. We've talked about it. We reviewed it. I think we're both actually, what are you using right now? I know you've been jumping around from phone to phone.
Galaxy S6.
Oh, you're just on the white edge or something?
Nope, regular, the platinum gold on Verizon S6.
Still on the gold. So yeah, so you're using it, I'm using it. We both basically, other than when you reviewed the G4, you took a little break from it. Basically, like since this phone came out, we both switched to it, and we've found really no reason to jump off it. So, we just talked. I just talked about how I just think it's the best overall package you can buy. Now, that doesn't mean it's a perfect phone. We still don't have a perfect phone. The battery life on it, not great. Doesn't have the removable battery, which some people like, or the SD card slot. It's not waterproof. So there are some things. For the most part, best phone you can buy. I did say the G4 was a close runner-up. I have a G4. It's right in here. I used it for a little, so Tim reviewed it. I used one for a little while, and it's not that I think this phone's bad. It's just not a phone for me. Like I tried to use it. It's just, there were some touch screen issues, which I think LG maybe even be working on. It just didn't seem all that sensitive to touch. I don't really like the plastic build, especially coming from the Galaxy S6. The camera is amazing, don't get me wrong. The display is pretty good, but there was something about it just didn't do it for me. But a lot of people are probably really going to like it, especially battery and maybe battery life and then the camera. And then we said if you don't like either of those phones, because some people just don't and they want updates and stock Android, I threw out Nexus 6. I'm sure some people were wondering why I didn't say Galaxy Note 4, which is still a great phone, but I wouldn't buy a Note 4 right now because the Note 5 is coming in 2 months. And also that the whole point of the Nexus 6 being on there is it's not Samsung. Because I know a lot of people just hate Samsung. Like, I feel like the people that don't want anything to do with the Galaxy S6 just generally hate Samsung. And I think that's like the reason they're justifying not buying it.
Yeah, that must be it. There must be some reason they hate the company. Because, I mean, really, I don't know if you think about it, like, it's kind of the best phone out. It definitely has like a really good display, a really good camera. I mean, really, the only downfall I'd say is probably the battery, but
yeah, the battery's pretty bad.
Yeah. Other than, I mean, yeah. Well, I'm really excited to totally just take away from everything you were just saying. I'm excited to see the new Motorola, whatever they're working on, the Moto X.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not much to say because not much is known, but
right.
That's the only phone I feel like in my own life would kind of compare possibly to the Galaxy S6.
Yeah, I think Motorola will probably do
not in the
something
camera
again.
Department though.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, so it's almost like a completely different subject. But so best phone you could buy today, easily, I think Galaxy S6.
I'd have to agree.
In 2 months, when the new Moto X comes out, that might change. I mean, like last year, well, basically for the last 2 years, I gave the Moto X 2013 and then 2014 best phone of the year just because of the overall package, even though it had a terrible camera. So it's not like camera is the only thing that really matters, but yeah, right now it's just Galaxy S6, I think. And it might be tough for Motorola to pry the Galaxy S6 out of my hands. It's been a while since I had a phone in my hand or in my pocket or on my desk that I just wanted to use constantly. And the S6, I find myself constantly just picking up to use. Like it just everything just works really well on it.
It feels good, although I will say, just to be completely honest, I feel like TouchWiz has slowed down just a bit than when you first open it out of the box. At first it was like super quick, no lag or jank or anything, but now I've got all my apps loaded up. I've been running it for a month, and I'm like, okay, I feel like it's struggling a little. It's finally acting like a real Samsung device. I'm sure I could find something that could kind of fix that, or I could be more proactive about clearing out my apps I'm not using or something, but I feel like there's a slight slowdown going on.
I would say yes. We've talked, I think we were really hammered on, was it the S5, maybe even S4 about it too, like how just slow and janky it got after a while. I would say the S6 has gotten a little slower. I would have to agree with you on that. So I reboot my phone all the time, because if it stutters for a second, I can't deal with it. And so I do reboot it often, or I just close all apps, which I'm sure is probably killing battery too. But yeah, so there, and I run Nova on there. And so I try to avoid the TouchWiz, but okay, I would have to agree. It's not as swift as it maybe was day one, which kind of sucks. And I don't think that'll happen with the Moto X. I picked up the Moto X 2nd gen the other day, and it was like crazy fast and smooth and stock Android, and I just went, I can miss you.
Yeah, absolutely. It still feels fantastic. I would still probably use that phone if it had a better camera.
Oh God, if it had a better camera, I probably would be using it still, because it's stock Android. Although, well, this is the pure edition, so it does have Lollipop, but Motorola is kind of failing this year with pushing Lollipop updates to anything else.
You can't really, we had this talk not too long ago. Can't blame Motorola. You got to blame Google for putting out janky software, which clearly no company can work with.
No.
HTC struggled. Samsung struggled. Everyone's struggling putting out Lollipop updates because Lollipop's garbage.
Lollipop is kind of garbage. I would have to agree.
It's just bug filled, like it just has a lot of bugs, whether it be battery or Wi-Fi connectivity problems. I mean, it feels like every device has a different set of problems when it comes to Lollipop, and
it does,
and that's a problem. So maybe Android M will address those issues.
Android M is the old. So not only did Google spend like the first 2 months of Lollipops pushing out .1 updates to fix bugs, then they're going to do a whole new version of Android that's really just one big Lollipop bug fix. That's got to be what Android M really is.
I'm surprised they're renaming it, or at least even calling it M. I mean, we had 3 iterations of Jelly Bean, and it all kind of looked the same. So Lollipop and M look the same, so I don't know why they have to change the name. I mean, that's their pony. I don't care what they do. I mean, as long as it's like a good experience, I don't care what it's called. Soon we're gonna be like, if they only do incremental though, or incremental, but they don't change the look in a big way, we're gonna get to Z, and we're still gonna be fixing Lollipop bugs.
Double A.
Yeah, double A, double B, Bubblicious,
Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, Bugs Bunny. They're gonna have to change the name at some point. I mean, Android's still growing.
Yeah,
right?
well,
what are we gonna do?
On, yearly releases now, so it's gonna be 20 years or so. Wait, now how many letters do we have left? How many letters in the alphabet?
26, 7,
26, right? 27. It's pretty bad that we don't know that. Just
I don't really need to count the alphabet every day like I used to back in kindergarten.
26. We were right.
That's good.
So we're on what, M? So we're about halfway. So we got another 13, 14 years to go or something. We got a while.
Only if they stick. Well, we only got to M so quick because it feels like they were pumping out.
Yeah.
They've been pretty quick.
Yeah. So yearly releases now, though, they basically said. So we might not even be alive by the time we get to Z.
Well,
13 years.
I don't know about all that. I mean, I'm pretty young still. I don't know about you.
I'm getting up there. So I don't know where we were going there, but so best Android phone you can buy right now, Galaxy S6.
Galaxy S6.
Yeah, it'll probably change the Moto X in a couple months.
Yeah, absolutely. It's exciting. I downloaded 5.1.1 or 5.1 on the Galaxy S6 Edge for Timo.
Yeah, Timo.
and haven't noticed anything too different. I mean, it's still
Just a bug fixer, yeah.
yeah, touch with.
Actually, they did change one thing, which is awesome. So when you pull down the notification shade, and there's the shortcuts for like, what is it? It's like Spotlight and like Quick Connect or some crap, S Finder and Quick Connect. So on the team in 5.1.1 on the team over, you can turn those off now. Because they take up like a giant chunk of your screen when you pull down the notification shade.
Yeah, they do.
So you can turn those off in 5.1.1.
Well, thank goodness. Well, now I know.
Like my favorite only new feature that I can even tell is new on there. Yeah. All right. So, I guess we shouldn't forget the Note 5 because that'll come out around the time of the Moto X. So that could be up there for phone to beat.
The Note 5 is going to be legit.
It's going to be awesome.
It's gotta be. I mean, it's probably going to blow everything away, at least in terms of like overall specs. It'll still be big. It'll have a freaking stylus. I'm sure Samsung has data and analytics on how many times, like maybe if it's like has like built-in counter for how many times people pull out the stylus from the phone. Yeah. Like, how many times do people actually use that thing?
I think so.
Yeah. Whenever I review a Note phone, I only ever pull it out during the review so I can like test out its features, but then it never comes out ever again.
I always want to use it because it's there and it's a pretty nice stylus. And so I always, whenever I'm using a Note, I always pull it out and go, all right, let's do some stuff with this stylus. And then, I'm like, I'll just scribble on I'm not going to hand write notes. I can type faster than I can hand write.
Right. And I'm not going to draw anything. I'm not a very good talented artist or anything like that. But
I always want to use it's like the scrapbooking sort of feature they have, where you can like highlight a screen and scrap. I always want to do that. And then I go, what am I going to scrapbook? Like, I don't know.
You're not a scrapbooker.
Oh, they build in like features that look really cool, especially in demos. And then in reality, I never find like a way to use them, which is unfortunate because I would love to be a scrapbooker.
I'd rather be a couponer. It just seems much more like time worthy of my time, I guess.
That's true. Yeah, scrapbooks aren't really worth anything, are they?
Probably not.
Okay. So OnePlus is starting their slow feature by feature rollout, teasing, if you will, for the OnePlus 2, which is supposed to come out in Q3. Are we in Q3 yet? No. Soon.
No.
July's Q3?
Must be.
No.
August.
No.
July?
July's start of Q3. Right? July, August.
Depends on. I think each company has a different. Are we talking about earnings or something?
No. The phones are supposed to come out in Q3.
Oh, of the year. Okay, I thought we were. If you were talking earnings, I mean, it depends on the company.
Yeah, you never know, right? Apple's is like some random made up quarter. So no, it's supposed to come out Q3, I think. So that could be in July, August, or September. So anyways, they're going to do this slow tease of all their features. It's going to be really annoying, and we're going to write them up every day, and it's just stupid. And I know they do it because they don't have a marketing budget, and it is actually kind of brilliant because we all write it up even though we hate it. So anyways, they started this week officially, and they announced that the phone will have a Snapdragon 810 V2.1 version of the chip. Dang. So it's the newest version of the Snapdragon 810, the controversial Snapdragon 810, the overheating Snapdragon 810,
the oven mitt
810, the melt your face off 810, all of that. And so they announced that, and people didn't exactly get excited. So people took to forums, they took to our website, and said, no, I don't want a phone with the 810. The 810 will melt your face and you need oven mitts to use it. And people got mad performance. And look, people have all the reason in the world to believe that, like AnonTech and some of those sites that like really dive into performance on chipsets like that. They've all said like the performance of the 810 actually kind of sucks when you put it under a heavy load. And so it's not like people are just making up this false idea that it overheats and sucks. Like, it kind of does. So anyways, they announced that and had some backlash, and then some random BS rumor started that the phone might be $322. Like, not only is that just the most random number ever, but their CEO told us 2 months ago or something, that it was probably going to be right around $400. So I seriously have no idea where this number came from. Anyways, they decided to address the backlash and this random price. And so they keep trying to say like, well, the A10 is really expensive and the performance is awesome, but this is the V2.1 of it, and it's much cooler than the other one. And yeah, that price is too low because Snapdragon 810 is expensive, so it's going to be more expensive. And yeah, we know it's going to be at least $400. As for the 810 V2.1 running cooler, try telling that to Sony.
Yeah, it runs twice as fast and twice as hot. I mean, that's just gonna be the way it is.
Seriously, so they're trying, like OnePlus, they just must have no idea what's going on in the real world. They're trying to defend this, right? This new version of the Snapdragon 810 is being running way cooler, and supposedly they've worked with Qualcomm's engineers and to make it right. I'm sure every company has worked with Qualcomm engineers to get this right, and no one's been able to get it right? So the Sony Xperia Z4 and Z3 Plus. Somebody's randomly calling me. Sorry. So the Z4 and Z3 Plus, right? They're out in Japan and they're kind of floating out in other countries now. So when it launched in Japan, the phone was getting so, and it runs the V2.1. It was getting so hot that like NT Docomo or whatever the big carrier is there had to put a warning next to the phone on display. Like, this phone might get hot and burn you, so be careful. Like, so no, like, OnePlus, like none of us believe that this phone with this new version of the A10 is going to run that much cooler and be that much better, because there's other phones running it and they're just as bad. So
yeah, unfortunately, I don't know if they have much of a choice, at this point in the phone's development or anything like that. I mean, it's just too late, especially if they're shooting for Q3. So
yeah,
I mean, and plus, who else would you go with? NVIDIA is not going to help you out because they don't really make smartphone processors anymore unless it's for their own hardware for some super phone. You don't want to go MediaTek because they don't really have like the clout that Qualcomm does, at least in that space. Like when you put out a spec sheet and you're like, we want to impress people, I mean, it's got to have Snapdragon. Unfortunately, Snapdragon 810 V2.1 it kind of comes with that negativity. They said wait and see. And what I liked is that people in the comments was like, yeah, you're damn right. I'm going to wait and see. I'm not going to buy this thing until I see other people have it and don't have a issue with it. And I think that's the way it should all be, unless you like being on the verge and like being an early adopter.
Right.
And maybe for this one, unlike the OnePlus One, which was pretty good, maybe wait and see. Especially if the price point's going to be a lot more, not a lot, but more. What was so attractive about OnePlus One is that it was good phone and priced very affordably. So if this one's going to be in the realm of like an actual flagship that's priced kind of high, then maybe hold off, see what review sites have to say about it, preferably what we have to say about it.
Yes, and
because we'll get one and we'll take 2.1 and wear our little mitts and all that stuff. So
yeah. So that's really all we know about the phone. But we'll know, I'm sure, Monday or Tuesday they'll have something new to talk about. Let's talk about the display or something. Maybe the camera. Who knows?
The camera, probably.
Yeah. So be prepared for a weekly update on what's new in the OnePlus 2. Let's see. All right. So Nest had a bunch of stuff to announce this week. You guys kind of knew some of it because we told you it was coming. And the Nest Cam, which is basically them just taking a drop cam and upgrading the camera and then changing the body style a little bit. Basically, it's just a drop cam that looks nicer. So it's called Nest Cam. It's available now for $200. They updated the Nest Protect, which is their smoke detector. So there's a new version, even though the other one just came out last year, and this new version sounds way better. Kind of annoyed about it, actually, because I bought 2 of the old ones. Let's see. They also announced big new software update for the thermostat. Even though everyone's waiting for version 3.0 of the thermostat, we're not getting it yet. Just software update for thermostat. And then the Android and iOS apps got a big old update to 5.0. Actually, it's not really an update. It's a whole new app, which is really weird. So they're making you install an entirely new app. The experience is great, though. It looks nicer. You can add your Nest cams and your drop cams into the Nest app. So for those of you that have drop cams and Nest and things like that, you now just have one app all combined, which is nice. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Nest. I'm just a big Nest fan, so I was all excited about it.
You love Nest.
Love me some Nest. All right, let's see. Huawei Nexus allegedly confirmed. You want to talk about this?
Yeah, sure. So apparently, a Huawei UK employee confirmed to a website, press, that the plans are true, that Huawei is working with Google to create a Nexus device. There are two. This one will have a larger display, larger than the one that's allegedly being made by LG. So two Nexus smartphones coming up this year, which is kind of exciting. The first time that's ever happened. We've, had Nexus smartphones along with a tablet, but never two smartphones released simultaneously. Some may argue that is pointless, given that Nexus devices I don't think are like major sellers or anything like that. But maybe after the backlash of them just releasing a single whale last year and releasing Shamu into the wild, which would be a good thing if we were talking about the actual whale. But we're not. We're talking about the phones. So, yeah, basically that's all he said. He didn't have too much info. One thing he did state is that Huawei looks at the Nexus program as a way to break through into the Western market, which I thought was actually a good idea. The Huawei name may not be known too well among U.S. consumers. And if they released a Nexus phone, backed by Google, maybe people wouldn't be too worried. They take off the tinfoil hats about China trying to spy on U.S. consumers or something like that. So I think it's a great idea if Huawei wants to get into the Nexus game. I think more Nexus devices, the better, especially if there's going to be a large one and small one, because some people like the bigger phones. Other people don't prefer them. So I think it's fantastic. If Google is going to take the chance, and make two of them, then heck, why not? So that's basically all we know. We still don't really have confirmed specs or anything like that. We're still a ways away. So,
yeah, but it was at least some sort of confirmation, we think, right?
Yeah, reported, alleged confirmation from a unknown Huawei UK source.
Right.
So,
yeah, completely unrelated, but we just got 2 emails saying that Motorola is starting a new soak test for the Verizon Moto X 2nd gen. Must be for 5.1.1, right? Because it already has 5.0, yeah.
That's exciting.
That's exciting. Big news there.
Oh, yeah. For Moto X owners on Verizon.
If they have documents. No, Verizon has not posted documents. Well, yeah, that's good news anyway. So, yeah, because I think the 5.0 update for the 2nd gen Moto X was really bad, right? Wasn't it one of the worst?
I think that's what I heard.
Yeah,
the one Motorola employee, David Schuster, I believe his name is. Yeah, he was saying that soak tests were going out to like retail versions, but not in the North America. So to see that a soak test is available for an American Moto X 2nd gen is pretty big. He said that if all went well, we'd see it next week. So given that it's Friday of this week, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
congrats to them getting that soak test, man. Life is good when you get updates.
Seriously. Yeah, look at you all happy now with that 360 update.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to wear it all weekend. That's awesome. Although I need to charge it. Can't even. It has to be like 80%. And I think it charges kind of slow. I'm like,
it does charge kind of slow.
Jesus.
Yeah. And the battery life hasn't been all that great for me on it. It was like yesterday I went for a run with it and then just tried to use it throughout the day, and it was like 2 o'clock and the thing had like 20% left.
I hear the battery life on 5.1.1 is not good.
There's apparently a battery leak. Something like that.
The struggle is real, man. I don't know. Maybe I won't even install it.
Poor lollipop.
Oh, lolly. Killing us.
It is. All right, let's see. So let's touch on this quickly. So Samsung made headlines this week. Security issue. So what was their name? Now Secure. Yeah, Now Secure. All right, so security guy or company called Now Secure discovered that on a whole bunch of Samsung phones, well, he called it 600 million plus, had a security flaw in the keyboard, which was in combination with Swift key. And basically, if you had a Samsung phone and you were on a rogue Wi-Fi hotspot network, because we all jump on those all the time, and then your language pack on your keyboard started updating, a hacker could then hack into your phone and do all sorts of fun stuff, right? So it made headlines because 600 million phones are affected by this. And all the like tech blogs that just love shitting on Samsung constantly, they just ran with it, right? And so it was everywhere. Meanwhile, all the Android sites look at it normally like actual human beings and went, yeah, it's not really that big of a deal. But anyways, so the deal is this. SwiftKey and Samsung partner up to do the technology behind Samsung's keyboard. So SwiftKey, so this is not the SwiftKey keyboard that's affected here. It's Samsung's stock keyboard. It just has SwiftKey's sort of technology behind it. And when Samsung was updating language packs for it, they're not encrypting that connection or that data or something. And so hackers can then like hack in with their little sneaky ways if you're on like a rogue Wi-Fi network that they've set up for hacking purposes, basically, right? And all these things have to align, and then somebody could potentially jump into your phone. So that's how it works. Samsung is issuing an update through Knox, I believe, and it'll fix it. And that's that. But man, was it in headlines for like 3 days.
It was bad news for a while. Some sites were just running with it.
Oh, yeah. So bad. I just love the 600 million Samsung devices affected by this security exploit. So
you are vulnerable. Like, oh man.
Right. Your life is hacked. It's just so stupid.
They make it sound like you're walking down a dark alley and someone's about to jump on you. It's pretty scary.
That's how like half these other tech sites made it sound. Like everyone with a Samsung phone, like your life was about to be ruined because of your SwiftKey keyboard. And I love to like a bunch of people reporting. Actually, the Now Secure site that found the exploit, they didn't even have the name right. They kept referring to it as Swift keyboard, and a lot of other these like texts. Like I saw Computer World wrote up this. I can't remember who the author was, and I probably shouldn't call her out. But like the whole like every single mention of the keyboard in the article, she referred to it as Swift keyboard, and it's like no, it's Swift keyboard. And so, you know, when you're attacking companies, you should probably at least get the names of their products right. But that's a whole nother issue. Okay, anyway, let's move on from there. All right, so we asked this week, how often do people upgrade their phones? So we try to do this like once a year just to see if anything changes, especially now because people don't really seem to sign contracts as often. They use, you know, they're part of device payment plans, or they have like unlimited data and don't want to give that up. So they maybe buy phones without a contract. And I was trying to pull the poll up. Here we go. So we asked this week and people our readers must all be rich or something.
Oh yeah, they're loaded.
For 2 years in a row, the top answer was I upgrade whenever I see a new phone I like. So obviously that could be people selling their phone and then getting a new one, but it just makes it sound like everyone's like, $700. What's $700? I'll buy a new phone. So yeah, it was 45% of the vote said whenever I want. And then the next highest was 30% was every 2 years when my contract expires or there's a cheap upgrade available. And then almost 20% was yearly. And then the last bullet was whenever my device payment plan lets me, which you could kind of probably group that into some of those other ones. But anyways, yeah, so 45%. Whenever I see a new phone.
Pretty impressive. We got a bunch of like awesome drug dealers or something reading the site. That's great. Good luck, guys.
Throwaway phones. Yeah.
Absolute bunch of burners. Hella expensive burners, man.
Seriously. So that's awesome. I mean, people should be using the newest of the new. It's always fun to have a brand new shiny phone.
Yeah, if you have the means, you know, that's one of the other things. Smartphones, they are expensive. And if you do that, say if you take smartphones as a hobby, and say back in the day, we did take this, I think, a bit more of a hobby when you were flashing custom ROMs and tinkering with stuff. It is more of a hobby. It's like having a model train set. You know, you change it up and you tweak things however you want. Smartphones are a very expensive hobby, especially, you know, if you're talking like tablets and phones. And if you want to switch anytime you want, you're spending thousands of dollars a year. So, you know, it's not a game for the faint of heart, you know, because back when we were flashing custom ROMs, you could brick a device. I think I bricked like a Droid X or something, or like an OG Droid or something. And, you know, that was a few $100 down the drain right there. Mm-hmm. So you got to be careful. But now I don't know anyone who flashes ROMs anymore. So, But
people do, just not
us.
Just not anyone we know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know that there are some cool looking themes out there still. Well, that's another thing. Like, so Samsung has like its own theme manager kind of built into the phone, and that was the one thing I wanted to do when I was flashing ROMs was just kind of throw on a custom theme. But now a lot of these makers, for example, if you have a OnePlus One with Cyanogen, that has like a theme engine running inside of it too. So I like that. Yeah, it's kind of being built in. Heck, even Google on Android M, you're able to switch between white and black settings menus. Like, that's cool. I could see more of that being kind of allowed in the future, where makers are like, yeah, sure, change whatever color you want, dude, whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of, I think, the way it should be. You should be able to, the theming thing. Yeah, you used to have to like flash theme files and stuff, didn't you? And they used to break all sorts of stuff.
All sorts of junk.
Yeah, now, like that's probably one of the best features of Cyanogen is the theme and stuff. Because some of the themes built out there, if you just go on Google Plus and like search for themes, it's crazy some of the cool stuff people have done. All minimal with material, but like different colors. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice if Google would really allow something like that, but it's not really their style, I don't think. But Samsung, yes. Yeah, we're off topic again, but you brought that up because there's apparently, it's at least 2, right, material themes coming to the Samsung theme store. So some dude on XDA who he's kind of been updating everyone. He's been building a material theme or 2 or something for the Galaxy S6, and he's been keeping everyone updated on like his process, and then he submitted it to Samsung. And I think he said they accepted it. So we're just kind of waiting for Samsung to like push it live now. So
yeah, apparently every Friday they update their store with the new themes. It was supposed to go out today or yesterday. They update the theme store and it didn't go out. So they're shooting for next week now.
Oh, it's not there this week. Okay.
No. So hopefully it's there next week. I know, dude. I would download that instantly. Yeah, we will write it up if anyone's listening and is interested in material design theme for your Galaxy S6 that does not require root or flashing of any junk. Then be on the lookout soon. It's coming.
Yeah, it should be sweet. Can't wait, actually. And I've looked at a lot of their themes, and most of them I just don't like at all.
They're junk.
But a material theme, I could get behind that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of like pink stuff. A lot of balloons, flowers, panda bears.
For that. Yeah, it's
stuff I don't care about.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Let's see. So randomly this week, speaking of the Xperia Z4, which we talked about earlier, Sony announced that Verizon's getting the Xperia Z4v. So it's coming this summer, and it's basically the Z4, although they upgraded it. This is kind of weird, right? So in the past, when Verizon's picked up Sony phones, they kind of changed things, not necessarily for the better. This one, though, they actually got Sony to upgrade stuff. So the Z4 has a full HD display, no wireless charging, and all that stuff. The Z4v for Verizon has a quad HD display. It also has wireless charging, and it supports both wireless charging standards, just like the Galaxy S6. That's fast charging. I thought there was something else that was different. The battery's bigger, not much, but it is bigger. So yeah, Verizon's actually getting an improved Xperia Z4 with the Z4v. It's coming this summer in black and whites. Probably all the regular pricing you would expect. I'm just looking at our post on it, and like the like formatting for the post is all sorts of broken. That's not good. That's really weird. Anyways. So that's coming. I don't know that anyone's all that excited about the Z4. I think everyone wanted Sony to release a phone that was really, really, really awesome, and then they didn't initially. Although this Verizon version is kind of upgraded to new school standards. I don't know. Maybe it'll be worth it. We'll check it out. Maybe we'll have Ron review it since he did the Z3v and see what he thinks. I know he's like dying for a Sony phone to be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about the press release that's like super broken.
The whole post is. Yeah, the whole post is like broken.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there.
Odd.
Very odd. Let's see. So we don't have to spend much time on this, but
Sagus.
The Sagus V squared. Sagus. So for those not familiar with the Sagus V squared, it was a phone that was announced at CES, and it was supposed to be the ultimate. What do they refer to it as? The world's most advanced smartphone. And at the time, it might have been technically on paper, has like a 5-inch full HD display, and it now has like dual SIMs and apparently has USB Type C port in it, which I just have a hard time believing. And it's supposed to support every band around the world from GSM to CDMA and all this stuff, and OIS cameras, I think, on the front and back. I don't know. And it's, a company in Utah that, has never, I think they've maybe made a phone in the past, nothing like this, right? And they've been overpromising and never delivering. The phone was supposed to be released, I think, like in March. And then they pushed it to May. And now they started some shady Indiegogo campaign. And like, we have no idea when the phone's coming. Supposedly this fall, but no one really believes that. It's a mess.
They sent out a tweet, let's see, at 1:27 a.m. of last night or this morning. Today's the 19th. Yeah, so this morning at 1:27 a.m. And someone asked them on Twitter, "This is an awesome phone. One question, how much the battery lasts with all that glorious hardware?" So clearly this person's excited. Team Segas replies, "Some unboxing influencers on YouTube will soon be pushing that to the limits, and you will have your answer." I reached out to a YouTuber in particular who I would think would probably be getting like one of these units. And he's like, "Nope, haven't heard anything from these guys." And I'm like, yeah, that's not too surprising. It just seems odd, like, I don't know if they're actually doing anything. Like, I don't know.
They're throwing parties at E3. That's one of the things they're doing.
In suites with their executives or founders or whatever.
Seriously, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's the YouTuber they're talking about is the Unbox Therapy guy. So I'm imagining, because on their Indiegogo campaign, like they
used him to
video. Yeah.
Ay caramba. They pluraled it, unboxing influencers. So I was like, okay, maybe they're getting a few people involved. But
yeah, they probably are. And so that's another thing, like they haven't delivered anyone's phone, and they keep supposedly adding features that should cost lots of money to add, I would imagine, like a USB Type C port. You can't tell me those are just like worth pennies these days. They're barely in anything. They're going to add that in and another SIM slot, and they do some other things too.
Didn't they change the manufacturer of the processor too?
Oh yeah, so they just completely changed manufacturers of the
phone. General. Yeah, great.
So in their last update, they said we're delaying it, and then because there was like some quality issues, and then in this new thing where they announced this Indiegogo campaign, they're like, yeah, we totally changed manufacturers. We told you guys that. And it's like, no, you didn't. So they haven't even manufactured the thing. It's such a joke. But yeah, so they're spending cash on YouTubers to make big fancy promo videos. They're spending cash on VIP parties at E3 and who knows what else. And yeah, no one still has a phone.
The cake is a lie. It's the ultimate cake is a lie, man. That thing just doesn't exist.
It doesn't. It is definitely some sort of vaporware. So yeah, who knows? Like I emailed them. So we had pre-ordered one because I was like, oh yeah, if this phone was going to come out in March, maybe even May, it would have been worth checking out and doing a review of. Now, like I emailed them, was like, just give me a refund, dude. I want my $600 back. Like this phone's never coming out. You're about as shady as it gets. And yeah, I don't have any time to wait. And it's running a Snapdragon 801. So not that it should be running an 810, but like the 801's a year old plus processor. It's really not that special anymore. I don't know. These Indiegogo campaigns, dude, they need to stop like really bad. Like these guys, they announced that they needed $1 million in funding. But what they did was like backload all of their initial pre-orders into Indiegogo. So it looked like in 10 minutes, they had $800,000 in funding. It was like the dirtiest thing ever. Like somebody emailed us the other day saying, look at how successful this has been. Actually, I think it was them like doing some BS marketing anonymous email, but whatever. Anyways, Segas. What a joke. All right. Any other topics? We're going to talk apps and games.
Talk some apps and games.
Apps and games. All right, cool. So this week, we got a couple of cool apps, actually. The one that I really like so far is Push Bullet's Portal. So you guys know we're big fans of Push Bullet, one of the greatest apps on Android. So they announced Portal, which is, it has one purpose, and that's to get files from your computer to your phone instantly, easily, seamlessly. And basically you install Portal on your Android phone. And when you have something you want to install, you pull up the Portal website, use the little QR code from your phone to scan it to connect them. So you could do this at any computer basically. And then you just drag and drop the files into that browser and it just instantly shoots them over via Wi-Fi. So it's super fast, it's super easy. If you're using Chrome, you can even drop like a whole folder full of files and it will send those over. Really cool app. It's free. And yeah, I mean, you should check it out. It's, you know, you only need it when you're dragging and dropping files from your computer to your phone, but it works really, really well. It's instant, fast. And I have this feeling that Push Bullet's going to get bought any day. Like somebody's going to buy them. It'll probably be Google, and they'll just build all the Push Bullet stuff into Android. That's my guess. We'll see. Anyway, so Portal, it's free. The other app, this actually came out the same day. It's pretty funny how it's like another file sharing kind of app. BitTorrent launched an app called Shoot, and it's a phone-to-phone photo and video sharing app. It's kind of a similar deal like with QR codes, but basically it's also free. Wait, I think it's free. Yeah, it's free. So basically when you're with a group of friends and you have an iOS device and a Windows phone, no one has Windows phones, but they are on Windows Phone, your Android device or whatever, you're taking pictures at a party and you just want to share them, or maybe someone took a picture of you as a group and it's only on one person's phone and you all want to get it. Shoot allows you to pull up the app on everyone's phone. One person's the receiver, one person's the sender, everyone else is the receiver. Basically, it pulls up a QR code, you scan it, and it just sends the photo or video over. It's a pretty quick way to share photos and videos. So BitTorrent, Push Bullet, a couple of new apps. Good stuff.
Lovely.
Mm-hmm.
I got two apps to talk about. First one being Google Clock. Google has separated the clock from the system OS and have placed the APK on Google Play for everybody to download. I kind of like their clock app now because I feel like they worked in a bit of Timely, after they bought that, and kind of worked Timely into the Google Clock app. It's your basic clock app. It can work in as an alarm clock, timer, stuff like that. It's a good app if you need a clock app and you don't want Timely, which is even free now, even though I still think that's like the greatest app ever. Then check out Google Clock. It's all material designed out and all that. It's a good looking app.
It's kind of about time, right, that they brought that over. I don't know why that was built in.
Such a weight. Maybe they didn't think it was like such a big deal. They're like, oh, it's a freaking clock app. Maybe we don't need to like take our time with it.
Maybe.
Yeah. The second app, bit bigger of an app, is called Game Recorder Plus. Now, unfortunately, this is specifically for Samsung Galaxy devices. Note 4, Note 3, Note 2, S5, S6, S6 Edge, S4, and I think that's it. No tablets and no S6 Active. But the last main flagships from Samsung for the past few years are supported. So what you do, any app, or no app, any game that you download from Google Play or Galaxy App Store, you turn it on and it brings up a video, like a hover video of you and from the front facing camera, and it shows you playing the game and it records that gameplay, and you can talk and you can kind of commentate over your gameplay. And it's kind of fun. Like if you want to make like maybe a walkthrough or a strategy guide for a certain game, or if you just want to film yourself being funny while failing at a game like Flappy Bird or something, you can do that. But it's kind of fun. I played it for a little bit. I used it for a little bit, and you can log into your YouTube account directly through the app and upload those videos, those recordings that you make straight to YouTube for everyone to view, which I thought was really cool. Because that's a big market right now. People recording themselves on games and doing their voice and all that stuff. So I want to find a game that where I can use this and like upload some stuff, because I think it'd be a lot of fun, but I need to wait for like the perfect game. I think like it'd be really cool to do that for like Doom or something, but of course it's not compatible with Shield or anything like that. Like, it's hard to want to play a game like that on a small phone and not have like a controller or something like that. So it's a cool app though if you have a compatible device. It's free, so if you like recording yourself playing games, check it out.
What a weird app. It's just weird how it like showed up and we thought it was new, but it wasn't new. And
yeah, Samsung didn't really make a big deal about it, even though I kind of thought they should. I mean, it seems like a really cool idea. Why not? So, but they said no, they updated it with game audio recording. Apparently, it would only record the audio coming from the microphone. And so you'd have to have the speaker turned up for it to get the audio from the game and your voice. And it sounded like crap. Yeah, so now you can just have the actual game audio recorded from internally, not from an external mic. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
If you don't want to hear your voice or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of good apps this week. First time in a while, I feel like.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah. All right. What else you want to talk about? Anything?
No, in terms of Android, no, I think I'm good.
Dubs won the title.
Oh yeah. Congratulations to the Warriors and all of the Bay Area. What's
spoiled Bay Area.
I feel like I need to talk about this, but the San Francisco Giants have been like tweeting out congrats and the Bay Area is strong and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, I get that they're a Bay Area team, but if the Giants, say if the Oakland Athletics won the World Series, I don't feel like San Francisco would kind of be so like we are champs or anything like that. I'm like, like the Warriors are based out of Oakland, and not for long. It just seems odd that the Giants are so on with the Warriors.
It's a big bandwagon down there, dude. It's
absolutely, yeah.
Look at all those Silicon Valley execs that have never been to a basketball game in their life, and all of a sudden they start showing up in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah,
all the Apple execs
shirts. Yeah, it just seems odd down there. But I'm happy that everyone down there celebrating, having a good time. I mean, Giants are champs, Dubs are champs. Niners are going to win the Super Bowl next season. Not.
Hey, maybe not. They're not. Yeah, good times.
Yeah, absolutely. For sports.
Tiger Woods shot an 80 yesterday, opening round of the U.S. Open.
Nice.
Not good.
What about female World Cup? Is that still going on?
Still going. U.S. plays Monday, I think it is. Knockout round.
Who we playing?
Colombia, I think.
Oh. That should be good.
Should be good. Lots of stuff. It's the summer. There's no sports really going on other than soccer, which you don't like and I do. So, all right, cool. Well, yeah, I got nothing else. I'll wrap up. Right on an hour. Good job, us.
Heck yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. This has been Droid Life Show episode 85. We should be back next week. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Thank you. Yes.
I mean, you're technically a dad. You have dogs.
I got a dog dad. Yeah. Happy Father's Day to you, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Is this your first or second? Okay. Second one.
Second one.
That's. Do you have anything planned?
No, absolutely not. Like, Dove's like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And I'm like, you know me, I don't really celebrate like myself at all.
Anything. Yeah.
Actually, I did say like, I know what I want to do. We're going to All Way and eating burgers for like 2 hours on Sunday. And she, for some reason, won't like accept the fact that All Way is like one of the best burgers in Portland. And so she's like, no, I don't want to, but we have to. And I was like, yes, you have to. You have to.
That's funny.
That's about it. So, yeah. All right, cool. Episode 85. And we should be back next week. Thanks for joining us. Peace.